page, and we are on this particular platform. And so I want to give you guys some insights as to how you guys, 11th graders, 12th graders next year, and you're off to college and, the workforce, how do we market ourselves and how do we build our network, right? And because we're also artists, some of you guys are venturing into the arts world after you guys leave here. What does that look like? What should it look like if you're indeed branding yourselves as vocalists, actors, dancers, musicians, and so on? So I do want to welcome you guys to this workshop, and now turn it over to Brooke Christina. Give her a hand, please. Thank you.
Hi guys, how are you? I know it's early, but how are you guys doing? Good? Good. Okay, good. So today I'm going to be talking to you about how to market yourself and network past high school. So I do have a question. Who wants to be an entrepreneur out of all you guys? Anybody? You? Okay. What do you want to sell? Say a little, yeah, what do you want to sell? Okay, do you have an idea? No? Okay, that's fine. Have some time. Does anybody else want to be an entrepreneur? An actor? You do? You do? Okay. Why do you want to be an actor? You can speak a little louder. You're shy? You want to be an actor, right? Why do you want to be an actor? Come. It's okay. If you want to be an actor, you have to speak, right? Okay. Here you go.
Because it's one of the things I'm most passionate about in life, and it's something I could find I could make money with.
Okay. So, yes. Okay. So the thing about being an actor is that you do have to own that as well. Okay? And I would ask also, what are you waiting for in order to become that? So we're going to be talking about the next steps that you're willing to take in order to become an actor. Are there any other people that have like any desired careers? You can say it out loud if you like, if you are not shy. Okay, you. Okay. A vocalist? A lawyer? Okay. All right. How you gonna mix that? That is nice. Okay, I like that. I like that. Mhm. Okay. I'm gonna pass you guys a mic so you guys could talk a little bit louder. Does anybody want to take this from me? Okay, there you go. Okay. You could I want to yeah, go ahead. You got to stand up too. We got to be a little, you know, we got to be brave today. Ain't no
Okay.
shyness. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, as I said before, I either want to be well, it's not an either or. I want to do both. I want to be a vocalist and a lawyer. I would love to do corporate law, so I like for the first part of my life, so I could be financially stable, and then go into defense prosecution and civil rights work. But
Okay.
then I would also like to combine entertainment law. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. I'm gonna come back to you on that. Yes. You could, if you want to come up, you could pass the mic to her. It's up to you. You could just switch it up. Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Okay. Well, hello. My name is Madison Gobaya. I want to be a dancer and a creative director. So basically, because I also choreograph, so I want to do commercial dance. So that means the tours that you see people dancing with Beyonce, all the big artists. But then also like I don't know if you guys know Royal Family being in the back, doing it all, the blocking, the stage managing. So I don't want to wait until I'm older to do that. I also just want to dabble into that. So yeah, and then like do like business and marketing
Okay.
as like to help me elevate my brand.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I want to do.
So you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so obviously, you know, like you said, you don't want to wait till you're older. So the next step that I would suggest is to have your own like business where you teach dancers. You could also get like a little studio and you can, you know, broadcast it and advertise it on social media and say maybe, you know, cost like $10 per class. And that's how you build your network, you know. Also, social media, you can say, oh, I do hip hop this day, I do ballet this day, I do tap, I do jazz, all that type of stuff. I'm not really too like expertise on like dance, but these are different ways that you can also build that from now instead of waiting until later. So, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, you could go to the next slide.
I'm sorry.
So basically, why start now? You don't have to be official because you're already building your brand. You guys are already in art school, so you guys are already learning all the skills that you need in order to get there. I want you to think about, do you want people to remember you? And how are they going to remember you? What's very important is your why. Why am I doing this, and how are you going to stand out? You can go to the next slide, please. So, I have a podcast, all right? Does anybody watch podcast here? You guys watch podcasts? Okay. What do you watch podcasts about? You just scream it out. Say it one more time. Okay. True crime. Okay, that's good. My podcast is about creatives. So I have semi-successful creatives on my podcast, and they talk about their journeys from start to now. So it's kind of like, somebody just said this on their date, like it's kind of like a time lapse. So when they do get to that bigger point, they look back at, you know, what part they were at. So I have actresses, entrepreneurs, content creators, fashion designers, models, and more. You could go to the next slide. I'm going to tell you how this podcast got me to this job. Do you guys know what Essence Magazine is? Yes, okay. So I'm the assistant for the VP of content for Essence Magazine. So obviously you have like Beyonce here, Thames, Sha'Carri, like those are people that we've had on that magazine. So me having my podcast, I work for a journalist, but my journalist boss saw that I had the podcast on my Instagram. So that is what led me to getting that job. So the tip that I have for you is create the work that you'd like to actually work for in the future. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So the dancer, right? Do you have Instagram? Okay. Do you have dancing clips on that Instagram?
Yeah, I have it on a business account. I've been working on building it.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I've reached a small goal of having 1K followers, and now I'm like building it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I dance already. I'm already like in the door where I dance in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already introduced to a lot of different choreographers that are on tour currently.
Mm-hmm.
And have been on tour. So yeah.
Okay.
Like trying to network and like so it has helped.
Yes.
Growing, and I post a lot of like
All right.
videos. So yeah.
So I think the next step will also be following some choreographers as well, because then that is what helps them see your profile. They're like, oh, who's this? Oh, it's a dancer. And then you also follow a lot of, you know, people that are potentially looking for dancers as well. So they can either ask you to assist, and they can also ask you to also join them on tour. That could also happen as well. You could go to the next slide. Knowing your brand. So like I mentioned, what is your why? The why is what's going to help you stand out as an individual, okay? Then you also want to know what is your tone. You have a lot of people that are like very bold, and they're very like, they're either very professional, they're very chill, they're very laid back. I think the one thing you want to take away from this is being your genuine self. If you are extroverted, be extroverted, and don't be afraid to hold back. And if you're introverted, that's totally fine too. Sometimes we're a little bit more extroverted in front of the camera. Sometimes we're a little bit more extroverted in front of people, right? Just people that we feel comfortable in front of. And also think about, who are you talking to? Who is your target audience? I know for me, my target audience is creatives, young creatives, especially people that just want to learn and soak in things like a sponge. So if you know your brand, it's way easier for people to get to know you. I feel like I target a lot of 18, probably even younger if you're aspiring, but 18 to probably like 30. Another example is like, okay, I tell stories in my fashion designs, right? For entertainment law. Okay, you're telling stories, right? But I'm still trying to figure out the vocalist thing, but it does work hand in hand. But you're still going to be telling stories, and also you're also going to be doing things that you are passionate about, and that's all that matters as well. You can go to the next slide. Show, don't just tell. So when you come out of high school, right, it's very imperative that you have some type of portfolio. Colleges, they want a portfolio to see all the work that you've done. All right, it's not just about what you're saying, but it's also about what you've done, and you want to show proof of that. Instagram, TikTok. I know you guys have TikTok. Who has TikTok in here? Okay, the ones that don't have TikTok, why don't you have TikTok? TikTok is a very useful tool, especially for if you want to have a platform. Then also storytelling. You want to make sure that anything that you are doing tells some type of story. All right, if you love to tell stories, this is definitely for you. Collabs, team up with other creatives. You guys could team up together. If you guys have similar careers that you want to pursue, you guys can team up together and say, let's do this together. If you want to do a film, let's do a short film together. If you want to do music, let's do a song. One could produce and one could write. So the way that you show up, your work, it can level you up as well. You could go to the next slide. Consistency over perfection, okay? It's very important that you're consistent in everything that you do. That's how you actually receive results. So if I post every single day, I could potentially earn multiple followers, right? Because I'm consistent, I'm showing up. If I go away for a few months, no one's gonna really know who I am. So that's where the consistency part comes through. You don't have to go viral, you just have to show up. People want to connect with you and they also want to learn from you. All right? Think about it like you're a teacher. You are teaching something. I think the only thing that I'd have to really mention is also, like when I said being genuine, share that journey. Don't hold anything back. Be vulnerable. I know that I attract to people that tell their stories in the most genuine way. Okay? If you want to show a getting ready with me to go to dance class, wake up in your bonnet, okay, and film that too, because that is genuine. Showing up once a week is better than being perfect once a year. Just being consistent and also being disciplined. Discipline and also having confidence. Confidence is very important. That's what also implements all of that. You go to the next slide. All right, how to network. So are most of you guys friends in here? Yeah? Okay. So it's basically like that. Networking is like making friends, okay? When you get out of high school, you're going to be going to college, most of you, and then you're going to be meeting a lot of people that come from different places and that have similar interests and probably not, the same things as well as you, but that is okay. You want to make sure that you are networking with a purpose. Don't stress about trying to get something from people and trying to take something from anybody. It's really about what am I trying to learn from this person. Okay, it's all about perspective. What am I trying to learn from you and what am I trying to also just grasp as I'm trying to grow as an individual? Think about what you can offer. If I do hair, right? And somebody is like, okay, well, I need somebody to do my hair pronto. Well, that person can recommend you because they know that you do hair. But it's all about also just networking and connecting with them and letting them know, hey, I do this, I do that, I do makeup. If you need someone, makeup artist, and we're doing a short film, it'd be great to be like, okay, well, I know this person, they could help tomorrow, okay? Be genuinely curious and ask people about what they're into and why they love it. It's all about an A and B. It's a balance. Don't just talk about yourself, but also ask people questions as well. Just like how I asked you, what do you want to do? And I asked you, what do you want to do? And then you say, okay, what about you? What are you interested in? What are you passionate about? Don't just focus on yourself. You want to learn about people. And honestly, like, one thing I've learned is listening is so important, okay? Let people yap about themselves, okay? Because people like it when you're interested in them. Focus on making those real connections, even if they don't turn into something right away. Let's say you meet somebody that's influential. Don't ask a favor from them, okay? Don't be like, okay, can I be in your music video? No. Actually just gain a connection with them and see where things go, because then people see it as you're kind of taking something from them. You can go to the next slide. Where to find people. So like I said, you guys can connect with each other. Hopefully you guys connect with each other past high school, and also having mentors. Having a mentor is very important. So like how I mentioned how I got my job, so she's basically also a mentor to me. But what did I do? I networked, and I also like kind of harassed her on Instagram, and I like texted her 1,000 times until she replied. But that is, you know, somebody that I look up to, and I was like, it's worth it. So you kind of have to go after things that you want. Communities, groups that help you get your name out there. Connect with any groups. It's very easy, very simple. And where to meet them. I met a lot of people on Instagram. I know social media is kind of how we interact nowadays, so definitely take advantage of that. And TikTok as well. Go to events. There's a lot of networking events. There's a lot of events, period, especially throughout the year, that you just probably need to be 18 plus for, which you guys will get there eventually if you're not 18 already. But workshops, and then also online panels to meet new people. You can go to the next slide. All right, how to reach out. Before you hit somebody up, show some love, of course. You definitely want to like their posts, show interest, like I said, leave some comments, and share their work if you like it. If somebody is asking, hey, do you know somebody that, I don't know, does fashion design, or somebody that models, or somebody that can sing for me, then please, like, that's how you share your work, by making sure you broadcast on any platform and they can just kind of screenshot it or send it over. Give before you asked. Just like how I mentioned, if you meet somebody that is that you look up to and you're like, oh, I want something from them, don't just jump to, can you help me? Think about it, what can I do for you? Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Okay, we have a quick activity. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna have somebody be a host, and I'm gonna have somebody be a guest. Do I have any volunteers? Please do not be shy. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 groups, so you guys can come up to first. Both of you guys will come up. All right, yeah, one person sit there. See if we can move these chairs in the middle. Yeah, basically that. There you go. Okay. Here. Well, let me explain first. I'm gonna explain what we're gonna do, okay? So who wants to be the host and wants to be the guest? You'll be the guest? You'll be the host? Okay, are you good with questions? Yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Check.
All right. You guys have majors here, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's your major?
Mine is visual arts.
Visual arts, and what's yours? Same? Perfect. Okay, lit. All right, so basically I want you to come up with, and this is the thing about being a podcast like host, is pivoting. All right, there's many times where you may have to cut some questions, and there may be some times where you have to just come up with it on the spot. But that also shows that you're listening to her, right? So maybe yours is probably the most hardest position, but you got this, okay? All right, what's your name?
Madison.
Madison, what's your name?
Dwsa.
Jalissa. Okay, so I'm gonna start you off, okay? Let's say, you wanna come up with a name real quick? Or I could just, yeah, okay. Hello guys, welcome to Four Craves podcast. We have,
Dwsa Miller.
okay?
Madison Miller.
Alrighty, so you're gonna ask her, Madison, how are you?
How are you, Madison?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great.
That's amazing. Alrighty, now I want you to come up with your first questions, okay? We're gonna ask 5.
Does it have to be on visual arts, like our major?
Specifically, I would like that, because we want to keep a podcast mainly on a topic. You have podcasts on relationships, you have podcasts on, like you said, true crime. We want to keep the audience involved and attentive the entire time, right? And then we'll get to the questions where you could ask the fun questions at the end, okay? So, do you have a first question? You could ask about her journey. You could ask how she got started, being interested in visual arts, any of that.
When did you first start your art journey?
So I originally started quite young. It was like when you would do finger painting in class like that, and it was just something that really interests me. And then as I started to grow older, like I used to watch a lot of artists on YouTube, like drawing, sketchbook tours, whatever. And it really influenced me to get started, and it actually helped me develop like how to do freehand drawings instead of, just tracing and stuff like that. So that helped me with that. And then as I grew older, I started doing more paintings. That developed into a business where I used to sell paintings for a little bit. And now I'm here, and I just draw for fun now.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Do I get, keep going?
Yeah, if you need help, just I'll pitch in, but
Okay.
go ahead and keep going.
What made you feel like you needed to bring your art to a business? Like, what made you sell them?
So it was originally my uncle who pitched the idea to me, because at first I just did paintings just to paint. I didn't really think like, oh, I could sell this and make a little bit of money on the side. But he always used to be like my biggest #1 fan when it came to my art. Like he has a whole bunch of my pieces hung up in his house and stuff like that. So he used to tell me all the time, like, these are so good, like you should start selling them. So it started by me just posting on my Instagram at the time, and a lot of people would be like, oh, like, can you sell that to me? And then it eventually started to getting to the point where I would definitely give them to the people. And then my uncle introduced me to this lady, and he said, oh, she would love to buy a piece from you, and she lived all the way in Brooklyn. So I was like, okay, I'll give it to her. And then I went to her house, and we had a conversation, and I ended up just signing the back for her, and now she has it up in her house in Brooklyn.
That takes a lot, and I know myself that it takes a lot to paint. So, what do you find the most difficult about visual arts, but what keeps you going regardless of that?
I think the hardest part of visual arts is definitely art block, when you get in those times where you just don't feel creative. Can't stand it. Like, you don't feel creative. You don't feel like you can draw. And then it's even worse when you watch all these artists on YouTube, or you follow a lot of artists on Instagram, and you're like, dang, like they're creating these fire pieces, and like I'm just stuck. So I feel like that's the hardest part, but pushing through it and just kind of just drawing every day really helped me. Like, even if it was just a couple scribbles on a page or just doing some thumbnails, it just helped me to kind of get out of that slump, especially with art projects. This last project we did where we had to create a self-portrait, that was really hard for me because I'm so used to drawing other people, and every time I draw myself, it just doesn't look like me. So I was going through a really big struggle with that, but I ended up just kept drawing and drawing and drawing, getting more ideas from different photos of myself, and it ended up working out in the end.
That is great. I did see your piece. I feel like I could definitely see the growth from where I've seen you and where you are now.
Thank you.
Do you have any like inspirations? Like, do you have anyone who inspires you to keep going, or who inspires you to get better at what you're doing in visual arts right now?
Honestly, I would say it's no specific artist really, but definitely my family. They influence me a lot because they've seen me go through the process, and they see my progress as I've grown as an artist. And they tell me all the time just to stick to it and just keep going with it, because it could eventually take me far, even if it's not something that I want to do in the future. Like, for example, like I don't want to be an artist in the future, but I know that I want to go into healthcare. So my uncle was like, even if you want to go into healthcare, you could draw like the illustrations for medical books, drawing like heart diagrams, lungs, all these different things that you can put your artistic ability into and still stay in the field that you want to be in.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was 4, but that was really good. Okay, that was amazing. Also, I would recommend too, You don't have to be like an interview, but it could also be a conversation too. So you could be like, so you know that she does visual arts. Okay, what about you? I heard you do visual arts too. Like, okay, why do you do it? But that was amazing. You guys pivoted perfectly. So good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. All right, next two guests. All right, let's do entertainment lawyer and Miss Actor here. Oh wait, hold on. I chose her. We could do you. We could do you after. There's two actors. We need two people. Guest host. You're the host?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Matthew?
So just, tell me a little about yourself, your story, how you got to this school, the different things. Yeah.
Okay, so what specifically? Like,
Just tell me stuff about your early life. Like
My
what,
early life?
I know you're an actor.
Yeah.
So what inspired your, passion?
okay, so what inspired me to start acting was like around middle school when I started getting into like the Marvel movies. And like I used to be obsessed with them. I would watch the behind the scenes all the time. And I would also watch like their interviews. So I was like, I want to do that. So I started looking into acting. And then when I was choosing my high school, I saw that this school is a performing arts school. So I was like, this could really help me, get into acting.
That's a beautiful story. What would you say is one of the most difficult parts about your process? Coming up as an actor. I know that we're still in high school. We're still doing the local shows. But what would you say is your biggest challenge in the state you are in now?
I feel like the biggest challenge in like acting for me is, well, my confidence in it. And also like, I feel like when I'm not confident, I don't want to like try. So I feel like that's really an issue for me.
Yeah, I definitely relate with that because I sing and stuff. So I feel like when I'm not confident about something, well, for me, my confidence comes from like the clothes I wear when I sing. Just to like add on to what you're saying. Like if I don't feel confident in what I'm wearing, like that's why I usually sing in like suits and stuff and those different stuff. So if I'm not confident in what I'm wearing, I'm not necessarily going to perform as well. So I feel like confidence definitely plays a huge role into the arts and the two stuff that we're doing. So how do you combat that? Like how do you find confidence within yourself? Like where do you pull that from?
I feel like most of the confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. So what I try to do is try to rehearse more, study more, do more character work, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Do you ever, of course you get nervous, but how do you combat that as well?
I just try not to think about it at all.
What are your plans for the future?
Oh, I want to go to a university where I can study acting, but also like study psychology. So like, just in case.
It's very nice. Like those two go hand in hand in many retrospects and aspects. Because if you could tap into certain parts of the mind,
Yeah.
you're able to portray certain roles properly, and you understand how to maneuver yourself to certain things. So that's amazing. What about after school?
Well, after school, obviously, I want to go into like the professional part of acting. Be in movies, films, all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Look at y'all.
Thank you.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Good job. All right. Let's do one more group. Do you still want to? Oh, so we have 4 volunteers, right? You still want to go? All right. So we'll do 2 more. We have time, right? No? Yes? Oh, we'll do 1 more. Okay. Let's do you two. You two. Yeah. Oh, wait. You guys in the back, my love. I'm sorry. You know what? I said next time. So we'll do 1 and 1. That's fine. All right, who's gonna be the host and who's gonna be the guest? Host? Host?
Yeah. What do you feel comfortable doing? I don't mind.
I don't care.
Okay, I'll be a guest.
Guest?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is your major?
Dance.
Dance? Okay. Do you know a little bit about dance? Well, this is where we pivot, okay? You're going to ask her some questions. What is your favorite type of dance? We did already talk about it, but pretend like I didn't ask. What are your plans after high school? All that type of stuff, okay? I'll help you.
Hi.
Hi.
How long have you been interested in dance?
Dance has all my life basically. I don't know. Music is a big thing for me in my house, and so I don't know. I just always danced even when I was like younger, and I kind of started late because everyone like starts dance at like 3. I started dance at 9, so like you have to like work 10 times harder because there's people that are already like kind of advanced. So I found that really hard, but then just like knowing that this is what I want to do, just like kept it going. But all my life, yeah.
The arts is a really competitive industry, so how do you like keep going? Like how do you keep that confidence?
I maintain confidence by reassuring myself that my biggest competitor is myself. Because it's very easy to like look at other people and be like, oh, they're at a certain stage, and it's just like, I'm not there yet. And especially like at the studio that I'm at now, it was a big shift because I did competitive dancing, even though I still compete. It's a semi-professional studio. So I'm seeing people that are on Nick's Kids, that are doing Kids Bop, that are booking jobs, are already signed to agencies, and I'm like, they're 13, and I'm 16. I'm like, so it's just like not comparing myself, that like my journey is different, everyone is different, and I need to stand in my own individuality and appreciating the small wins. So just like realizing that like I have my own lane and their lane is their lane. So yeah.
Do you want to continue to dance after high school?
Yeah, that's the goal. So I need to like preserve my body because dance is a very short-lived career, at least for your body. So that's why I want to dabble into choreography and like directing tours or just performances or music videos and films. So what do you see like Sean Bankhead, what he did with On Your Mama with Victoria Monet, so all that stuff, yeah.
You can ask one more.
Out of all the people, who do you want to work with? Who's like the number one goal?
Currently, I would really like to work with Dwsa. I really like her artistry. I feel like she just matches like my vibe. I really just like what she's doing for herself, her brand. Like I'll really like, if not dance alongside her, choreograph, or just like be a part of the like background. So I feel like Dwsa and like Beyonce, but Dwsa for now.
Okay. Well, final words. Thank you for being here.
You.
It was glad having you here. Good job, guys. All right. Thank you. All right. You could go to the next slide. The next slide after that. The next slide, please. Okay. So, my quote is, "You are your own brand, even now, and build it with purpose." Okay? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this workshop. I hope you have fun with your podcast activity. And hopefully see you guys on the big screen or whatever you guys are doing. Okay? Love that. All right. Thank you. Thank you.